In the mid-1990s, Spider-Man's world was thrown into utter chaos by a storyline that would both captivate and confound fans, the Clone Saga. This epic saga spanned over 2 years, weaving in and out of multiple comic series, and it left readers questioning who the real Spider-Man was and whether the Peter Parker they had followed for years was even the genuine article. The story kicked off innocently enough, with Peter Parker, married to Mary Jane, facing the usual trials of life as Spider-Man, juggling his heroic responsibilities, keeping his identity secret, and protecting his loved ones. But soon, his life would be turned upside down by the sudden reappearance of a man who looked exactly like him, his clone, Ben Reilly. The clone, originally introduced back in The Amazing Spider-Man number 149 in 1975, was believed to have perished after a climactic battle with Spider-Man. However, the Clone Saga revealed that not only was the clone alive, but he had spent years living in exile, building a life of his own. Ben Reilly had taken on the name of Peter's Uncle Ben as a tribute and tried to distance himself from his other self. But, like Peter, Ben could never fully escape the responsibilities that came with the powers he possessed. Ben Reilly's return to New York set the stage for a dramatic showdown between the two Spider-Men, each convinced that he was the real Peter Parker. Their powers were identical, their memories similar, both had all the characteristics of Spider-Man, but only one could be the true Peter Parker. This raised an existential question: what makes someone who they are? Is it memories, experiences, or simply a genetic code? The storyline took a darker turn when it was revealed that the villainous Jackal, a mad scientist obsessed with cloning, was behind the chaos. The Jackal had cloned Peter years ago and manipulated the clone into believing he was the real Spider-Man. But now, the Jackal was back, intent on wreaking even more havoc by planting seeds of doubt in Peter's mind about his identity. At the same time, Peter was dealing with personal tragedies. Aunt May had fallen gravely ill, and Mary Jane had just revealed she was pregnant with their first child. The stress of these events, combined with the shocking revelations surrounding Ben, left Peter questioning whether he deserved to even be Spider-Man. Could it be that all this time, he had been living a lie, and Ben was the true Peter Parker? For a time, the comics presented Ben Reilly as the true Spider-Man, while Peter, believing he was the clone, decided to hang up his costume and focus on raising a family with Mary Jane. Ben, now calling himself the Scarlet Spider, took over as New York's web-slinger, and fans were left to grapple with the shocking change. Would this new status quo last? Could Ben truly replace Peter? As Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly proved himself a worthy hero, but the weight of being Spider-Man weighed heavily on him. He was constantly reminded of the legacy he was trying to uphold, and at the same time, Peter could not completely turn away from his heroic responsibilities. The Clone Saga was not just about identity, it was about responsibility and the heavy burden that comes with great power. However, the story didn't end there. As the plot unraveled, it became clear that even darker forces were at play. Norman Osborn, the original Green Goblin and thought to be long dead, was revealed as the mastermind behind the entire clone conspiracy. He had manipulated the Jackal and orchestrated the return of Ben Reilly to drive Peter into a state of doubt and despair. In the climactic showdown, Norman Osborn revealed the truth: Peter Parker was, in fact, the real Spider-Man all along, and Ben Reilly was the clone. This revelation came at a heavy cost. During a final battle with the Green Goblin, Ben sacrificed himself to save Peter, proving that, regardless of his origin, he was a true hero. As Ben died in Peter's arms, his body disintegrated, confirming once and for all that he had been the clone. With Ben's death, Peter reclaimed the mantle of Spider-Man, but the events of the Clone Saga left a lasting mark on him. The story delved into the deep questions of identity, self-worth, and what it means to be a hero. Ben Reilly's sacrifice showed that it wasn't just Peter's genetics or experiences that made him a hero, it was his choices, his commitment to doing the right thing even when it was hard. The Clone Saga remains one of the most controversial and polarizing storylines in Spider-Man's history. Some fans loved the complex psychological drama and the introduction of Ben Reilly, while others were frustrated by the lengthy twists and turns. However, there's no denying that the Clone Saga pushed the boundaries of superhero storytelling and forced readers to consider the deeper aspects of Peter Parker's character. In the end, the Clone Saga became a story not just about Spider-Man, but about the legacy of heroism. Ben Reilly may have been a clone, but he was every bit as much a hero as Peter Parker, proving that heroism is defined not by birth or biology but by the choices we make and the actions we take.